Competency 15, where the pupil's queries followed up and answered. So we know the classroom moves at 30 miles an hour for most of our day, or 20, but certainly on the move, which makes it very, very difficult to always meet this competency. It actually isn't on one of the lowest scoring competencies, but I'm quite surprised that it isn't. It may have moved into that now. It's very difficult to answer questions when you're on the move. However, it's really important that you've already created an atmosphere that's conducive to learning and that the learner feels comfortable asking questions. It may be that you have to say, can you just concentrate on this junction for a second, and we'll come back to that later, because you might be coming into a roundabout or a busier situation where there's a lot of people. So that's up to you to not only manage risk management in doing this, but also to remember that they've asked that question. And this is why I always think it's really important to break that lesson down. If it's going swimmingly well and you've had no safety critical incidences, we do still need to pause and reflect. Only needs to take a minute, but we can always go back to, do you have any questions? I think you asked me a question back there, what was it? And go over, so when you're stationary, you could give them a little bit more time. Equally, if it's a nice straight clear road, you may well have time to divulge them in that answering that question, but make sure again, which tips over to the a competency before that we've just dealt with, that it is relevant and it's accurate, the information that you're giving. Or if you can't answer it correctly, or for what you know is correct, or the correct legislation, then point them towards a way of finding it out, if that makes sense. The other thing that people forget is body language. If you're shooting for a grade A, which you should all be doing really if you're going for a qualification, we want to be the best that we can be, so let's aim for an A. We really need to start looking at their body language. So if you've asked them, how much help would you like on this next junction, because they've maybe identified they're a little bit fast, or there was just one or two things they needed to work on, and you've asked them, do you think you would need any help from me if you did it again? And they said, no, I'm fine. You might want to pick them up on that and say, well, you're saying fine, but your face is saying something different. Talk to me, what's the issue? But the fact that you're noticing that they're feeling uncomfortable about something speaks volumes. It may be, which I've seen lots of times, that learner is so nervous that they're in an environment, if this is your part 3 test, that they're so nervous that they're in that kind of environment, that they're so concerned about how they're driving, and the pressure is on them that they feel, that you may need to pull them in and say, how's it going? You look really nervous. I'm nervous because it's my test, but I can understand why. Ask them why they're feeling nervous. Go, what is it? The extra person? Well, let's talk about the extra person in the car. Okay, right. Do you think he's watching you? Or do you think he or she is watching me? Or watching us together? And is there anything I can do to help you with that? They might go, no, I'm fine. You don't look fine. Come on, would it help if we went to do something? For example, if we go over into that quiet estate over there to settle you down a little bit, and I can talk you through it. Or it may be you can continue with that lesson plan and lesson goal and the theme, but shall I give you full guided until you settle in? Would that make you feel a little bit less nervous? To which you may see them visually relax and go, yeah, actually, can you give me a bit more? I think I need a bit more help. So a query to me is not only just a question, but it may be looking at odds with what they're doing, what they're saying, if that makes sense. I hope this helps.